Did you apply early action, early decision, or restrictive early action and just hear back from that school that you applied to? And did you not get in? Or maybe you got deferred? In any case, I'm going to talk to you guys in this video. What now? My name is Brooke. I've been an independent college consultant for over a decade and a half. I went to Stanford undergrad. I've coached students to places like Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, Yale, MIT, you name it, on down the line. We have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Be sure to plug in to all those and especially subscribe to our channel right here. I also have an online course for the SAT and the ACT that you can find at supertutortv.com. I've coached students to perfect scores on both tests. I've wrapped all of my secrets into there. Finally, if you're prepping for the ACT, I've got 2 math books on Amazon.com. I recommend that you check out the best ACT math books ever. Cool. So early action, restrictive early action, early decision, right? If you applied in one of these vehicles and you got your letter back, you either got rejected or you got deferred, what do you do now? First thing is I want you to see this as an opportunity. I know some of you are like, this sucks. This is so terrible. I'm freaking out, right? I hear you. It's cool. It's going to be okay. I don't want you guys to freak out. I want you to turn your lemon into lemonade and use this proactively to get your college list in shape and make sure that you apply everywhere you need to apply. This is the time to make sure that you're being realistic with where you're applying to college. And you can think of it as kind of a wake-up call, right? When you apply to college, I want you to hedge your bets. There's 2 principles to hedging your bets. One, have a good mix of schools. What does that look like? That means I want you to have reaches, targets, and safeties. We get into what all those mean in my How to Build Your College List video if you want more detail or if that's not enough information for you. In short, what it means is reaches are anything with an admit rate below 20% is probably going to be a reach no matter who you are, no matter what it is. Something with an admit rate maybe between 20 and 30%. If you're a super strong candidate, maybe that's a fit. Okay, maybe even 15 to 30% if you're a really strong candidate, meaning you have a wow factor and you've got the grades and the test scores. A safety is going to be a school with probably over a 30% admit rate if you're a really strong candidate, over a 50% admit rate if you've got some B's in the mix and you've got more, a 3.5 GPA, 3.2 GPA, something like that. So make sure you've got a mix of those. I always recommend at least 2 safeties, and that's one way to hedge your bets. The other way to hedge your bets is to put more lottery tickets in your bucket. You get more lottery tickets when you apply to more places. So your probability of getting into 1 of 10 schools is higher than if you only apply to 3 schools, even if they all have the same admit rate. Now, it is true that the strength of your application does determine whether you get into schools or not, but every school is a little bit different, and every admissions decision is somewhat subjective. So it's not 100% objective, and that's where we have a differentiation with where you get in and where you don't. Okay. So step 1 is ensure your college list is realistic and use this as a tool, not to freak out, but to reassess, to be realistic, and to hedge your bets and really give this your last go. Number 2, I want you to figure out how to improve your application. This is also an opportunity for self-reflection. One of the best things you can do right now is go over that application that didn't get in where you wanted to get in and ask yourself, why didn't I get in? Now, if you're applying to a place like Stanford or Harvard, a big reason why you didn't get in might just be that you're not a legacy and there's 5 kids from your high school that are. And if that's the case, that's probably the reason. But if there's anything in your application that you think could be improved, that's what I want you to focus on polishing up for this next round. We have tons of videos here on our channel totally for free that can help you with that process. You can also go to people in your life. That could be your aunt, your cousin, your English teacher, your school counselor, if you haven't already, and ask them to look over your portfolio and ask them to try to help you figure out why didn't I get in. If you can afford it, you can also go to a college consultant or a tutor. We have some at supertutortv.com/tutoring if you want to check us out. But in any case, wherever you go, figure out, how can I make this better? Number 3, if you're deferred, take action. So I have a whole other video that's very specific to the deferral category. So if you happen to be in that deferred pile, that's a video for you. I want you to take action. Do not just sit still. But in short, what does taking action mean? 1, it means writing a Loki. That's a letter. I have a whole video on that. And 2, it means trying to get an interview if you can. There's some other little things you can do too. But in short, if you were deferred, do not just sit and assume you've rolled over into the regular admission pile and everything is fine and dandy. Assert yourself. Be a voice that is heard. Make sure you send them a message. And sometimes schools have processes for this, and sometimes they have a form you fill out online, and sometimes they ask you to send confirmation by a certain date. And sometimes they roll you over automatically. Even if they roll you over automatically, send a Loki. Okay, still do it. Okay, step 4, I want you to come up with a plan B, and maybe a plan C, and maybe a plan D. Not getting in where you first wanted to get into. Again, it's a good wake-up call. It's a good I choose the college, but the college also chooses me. So what I want you to do is start to plan out in a way that you don't have to freak out, because you understand that no matter what happens, you're going to go to college and you're going to get a degree, and those are the 2 most important pieces to your statistical future success. Where you go is far less important on the grand scale percentage-wise of impact on your life than simply going to college and getting a degree. If you are committed to doing those 2 things, which I feel like anybody who's watching my channel probably is, because this is super nerdy content, you're going to be okay, all right? It's going to be okay. And you're going to have an awesome life. I know you are. But in framing that awesome life for yourself, I want you to start to look down into the future and realize, you know what? I might get rejected everywhere. What happens if I get rejected everywhere? Where do I want to go, right? So I want you to think through and have that plan ready to go. Plan B might be, hey, I'm from Indiana. I am just going to go to IU because it's going to save my parents a bundle of money. If I'm not in the top 20 schools, it's not worth it to pay that much to go to a school that's ranked, 47th, when I could save so much money and go to a school that's ranked really highly in the area I'm interested in. Business, whatever it is, okay? So have that plan B, C, D. Plan D might be community college first, right? Maybe you're a student in California and you think, oh, you know what? In California, UCs take a lot of transfers. It's a lot easier to get into UCSB, UCSD, UCLA, UC Irvine on a transfer than it is directly. And you can even statistically look up what the transfer rates are for different majors. So I'm just going to go in as a transfer, and that's my plan. Your plan D might be, oh, I'm going to go to a state school, and then I'm going to go to my dream school for graduate school. Okay? So frame out real world scenarios for your worst case situation. Okay? And understand that you have more than one option, and there's more than one way that this can go down. But I want you to figure out, in a worst case scenario, what are you going to do and how are you going to make this happen? And embrace the realism of it. And it's okay. Okay? It's going to be okay. Number 5, the next now what that I want you to do if your EA, REA, whatever school it is, didn't let you in, I want you to just embrace your inner awesomeness, because you are awesome. I know you guys can get so stressed out about this. It feels like the end of the world sometimes, especially when you're a teenager and you're in high school and you feel all this pressure and you feel like the weight of your entire life is on your shoulders, and it's hard. And I know that it's hard, and I'm sorry that you feel that way. But I just want you to know that if you put in the effort, if you go through this process, if you try your hardest, if you get the best grades that you can, if you work really hard, if you prep for the SAT, if you do all the things that you're supposed to do, and I know a lot of you guys do, and you put your heart into this, and you figure out what you're passionate about, and you go for it, and you put yourself on the line, you already won. Studies show, and I know I talk about this a billion times on my channel, I have so many videos that I talk about this, but studies show that for the majority of students, if you just apply to top colleges or wherever you're applying, whatever kind of caliber of college you're applying to, the life results for your life, your end sort of, paycheck that you're going to get at the end of the day is about the same as everybody who ends up going to those schools. If you have the same GPA, if you have the same test scores, whatever you've earned in your life, whatever you've accomplished is still what you've accomplished. A congratulations letter from a college is never going to change that. And you are the most important ingredient in your personal success. You are what's going to make your life awesome. And your life is your own boat, and you get to steer it, and you get to make the choices. And that's fabulous. If you are a senior and you are going through this process, you've got your whole life ahead of you. This is exciting, and there's a lot of opportunity out there. One door just closed on you, fine. There are so many more windows and doors that are going to open for you. And I want you to be excited about what you've accomplished, and that you can stand here and you can say, you know what, I put my best in and I did it, and I'm going to keep moving and I'm going to keep going. And that's what grit is. And I know you have it in you. In any case, I am proud of you for getting your application in early. That in itself is a feat if you happen to have applied early. Keep fighting the good fight. You've got this. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.